Welcome back to the 6th video of our 9-part 5-minute fundamentals mini-series on commercial deal structuring secrets. I'm Sal Buscemi, CEO of Dandrew Media and co-founder and managing director here at Dandrew Partners in New York City. In this video series, we're going to talk about how banks and Dandrew intermediaries have created revenue streams out of thin air by being a capital provider. Sound too good to be true? Perhaps. Given that it's prohibitively difficult to get even 1 or 2% interest today from your savings account or bank CDs, I don't blame you for your skepticism. In fact, I actually welcome it. Because to me, that means that you can think critically, and that kind of mentality is critical to being a commercial deal structuring engineer. This video is pretty much self-explanatory, so let's not waste any time and get right to the whiteboard, shall we? Welcome back to our 6th video in this 9-video installment series, Commercial Deal Structuring Secrets. We're going to talk about something here. We're going to bring it back to the basics. We've talked about it a little bit, but it's thinking like a bank and how we're going to structure our deals to be the bank and structure our deals alongside our capital providers, whether that's us or other bridge lenders or institutional capital providers. What does a bank do with the money that you deposit to it? When you buy a CD for 1, 2, 3% interest, I don't even think there's anything over 2% today, but what do you think they're doing with that money? They're paying you 2%, but they're lending it to guys like me at 7, 8% to buy commercial real estate with. So it's very interesting how the banking model works, and that's exactly what we're going to replicate here so you can benefit off of passive streams of income, off of thinking like a bank and structuring your deals a little creatively. Is that something you think that's interesting to you? Okay, let's talk about this. I actually bought a boat using this strategy here, and I'm going to show you how it's done. So let's get into it right here. This is simple bridge loan with coterminous wrap. What does that mean? Basically, it's the same term, the same duration, same length of time. So if it's a 3-year loan, you're going to have 3 years of income coming in. But what you're doing is that you're wrapping it with an increase or a markup of the interest rate. Sounds interesting, isn't it? But you have to be careful because a lot of people become greedy and they mark it up too much, and then they become not competitive in the market because the other guy down the street is going to challenge him and probably cut it by 1/4 of a point, 1/2 a point, maybe even a whole point. So you have to make sure that you're actually being very market sensitive here when you're trying this strategy. And of course, we're here to help you with that. So these are for plain vanilla bridge loans. This is just debt, 65 to 75% LTV. Somebody's found something interesting to buy. They don't have all the money they need. They're buying an REO from a bank, or it's some sort of a rehab deal that they're working on. Suppose it's a $5 million invested deal in a commercial piece of property. It's a multifamily in Dallas, for example. And you get a term sheet from us or another capital provider at 8%. Think about that for a moment. I'm going to get back to that in a second. But here's how it works. The term sheet is pre-negotiated, meaning that you're talking to the capital provider and you're saying, hey, Sal, I know you're going to do this at 8%, but if I pull back my fees and I waive my fees up front, do you think that I would be able to get maybe 1/4 point or 1/2 point added to this? And I would say, well, as long as it's market competitive, why not? And most capital providers would do that too as well. That's great because over the long run, you might make more money or you might not. Maybe you can do a hybrid of maybe 1/2 point up front and the rest in 1/4 or 1/2 or per full percent, 100 basis point markup on the interest rate that they're paying monthly. So that's interesting, but you have to make sure that it's being competitive, that is competitive. If you're going to go out there and you're going to be aggressive and you're going to add 3 points to it, you're going to be blown out of the water. Here's why. Those hard money lenders, those bridge lenders, are already very competitive with each other. So if you go out there and you tell the capital provider, well, you're charging 8, I want to charge 11, they're going to tell you to go to hell because it's too much and they want to close the deal, and now you're being greedy and you don't come across as being credible. You actually come across as being a flake who doesn't know what they're doing, who doesn't have an experience, and we don't want that to happen now, do we? Okay, let's move on. Income streams off of this, you can get upfront points. You can also get interest rate spread. When you get talking about interest rate spread here, it talks about the length of the loan. We call that the term. What is the duration of the loan? If it's 1 year, then you're getting an income stream for 1 year. If it's 2 years, you're getting it for 2 years. If it's 3 years, you're getting it for 3 years. It's pretty simple, isn't it? Pretty awesome because you're making money out of thin air by doing nothing, by just using what we call your intellectual capital to be able to structure the deal to your advantage so that everybody has a win-win situation. The style on this is mildly aggressive. The best asset classes for this to happen on are down markets where capital is very tight. There's not a lot of liquidity in the marketplace. You're going to be able to get away with this very easily. In up markets, sometimes there's a lot of bridge lenders out there. It's very competitive. You're not going to be able to do this as easily. On all income producing deals, and I think you're going to see, just like what you'll see on the webinar, a lot of people are doing this with loans that are coming due and they need bridge loans, the 911 calls, help. My loan's coming due in 2 weeks, and the lender's filing the notice of default if I don't pay him off. I need to get this paid off. I need something. He'll even accept a discounted payoff for the total amount due. He'll accept a shortage on the principal or a haircut of the principal in order to close this deal to get it off his books. And you're going to see that there's a lot of opportunities there, but you got to be thinking about how you're structuring it. So let's look at the economics here, because I think this is very important. So let's use an example here of a $5 million invested loan amount, bridge loan at 8%, being used to buy an income-producing multifamily deal in Dallas, Texas. They're all over the place. If you were to use, on that 8%, if you were to mark it up to 8.25%, where you get 1/4%, that would be $1,042 per month. Think of the kind of car you could lease with that monthly payment. 0.5 percentage point, you could go up, now all of a sudden you've almost doubled it to $2,083 per month. Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? See, now I would stop there because I wouldn't want to be too greedy. Now, if you happen to be in a down market or where capital is kind of hard to come by, you can probably do it a full point, and guess what that would do? $3,125 per month. That's amazing. Now, don't forget here also that that is over the term of the loan. So that could be from 1 year or that could be for 3 years. And that's a great wealth creating tool that you have there where you have actually cash flow coming in. Because today, that's one thing that a lot of people don't have is high yielding interest income off of their investments. And here you've created interest income out of thin air. Isn't that wonderful? All right, so let's move on to the next strategy here. This is fun. Are you having fun? Are you enjoying this? Well, that's great. We still have 2 more strategies left. Let's move on, and thank you for watching this.